Let's start with Reese. What do you know about this movie?
So I knew that this movie was a part of the Conjuring universe. I had watched The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. I hadn't watched either of the Annabelle movies. I liked both of The Conjurings. I really liked The Conjuring 2. And so I was really excited, like super fucking excited for The Nun.
Yeah, I've limited knowledge as well. I've seen The Conjuring 1 and Annabelle. I can't say that either one was one of my favorite horror movies, but they were solid for the most part. This movie is pretty hyped for me as well. Not as much as Hereditary, but these were really the only two movies I was looking forward to seeing this year, and they're the only two movies I've seen in theaters this year, so...
So, like Reese over there, I've seen the first Conjuring and the second Conjuring, and that's it. Those two movies are super solid, so I was trying to...
Good sips.
I was expecting this movie to kind of live up to the quality standards of the first two Conjurings, because it takes place in the Conjuring universe. The trailer makes that very clear, that that's what it takes place.
The darkest chapter.
Yeah, I was expecting the darkest chapter. I didn't get the darkest chapter at all. It was actually probably the funniest chapter. Anyway, we'll get into what I think about The Nun later. All I wanted to tell you was that, like, I have the exact same experience with the Conjuring universe, so I had the exact same expectations as Reese over there. Danny?
I've seen every movie in the Conjuring universe. I really enjoyed the previous ones, especially The Conjuring, the original one, and Annabelle Creation. Annabelle, the original, was a steaming pile of shit, but I still had really high hopes for the new movie.
So we all were hyped for The Nun.
So we were all hyped for The Nun. Okay,
We all were hyped for The Nun.
W-E-R-E.
Past tense.
So if you were to title this movie in a way that gave audiences a more genuine expectation for what they would be watching, what would it be? Since I proposed the idea, I'll also propose the title. People walking around with candles being distracted. More to the point, candles, bells, and upside down crosses. I wanted to make sure that the part about the characters being distracted is in my title, because that's basically what drove the plot. They were just hanging out. A noise would be made over here. They would walk towards the noise. And a candle would turn on. They'd walk towards the candle.
They see a nun that looks like a fucking demon, and they walk towards it.
Yeah. All the characters in the movie were definitely as unfocused as the director was. Yeah, that's my basic summary.
My new title would be Evil Dead: The Nun, because it seems like an Evil Dead movie.
Groovy.
So Evil Dead 2 and especially Army of Darkness were horror, but they turned horror into like a spoof. He has to fight with his own evil arm and chop it off. One chick gets like literally raped by a tree. He has to fight tiny people. Like, they're scary, but they're not at all scary. In this movie, one of the main characters gets scared, falls backwards into a grave, and then it pans up from the grave and his name is on the gravestone.
And it's in that funny gothic font too.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I don't know if they meant it to be scary, but it was fucking hilarious. And from that point on, the movie was funny. And that absurdity is so in line with what I remember the Evil Dead movies being like. This is the best Evil Dead movie I've seen in years.
Very nice. I think I'm gonna stick with the title, Reactive Catholics. You have like a random priest. He wakes up in the middle of the night and he like hears a stereo going off. He's like, I'm gonna go out and look around, and he sees a figure running in the night, and he's like, I'm going to follow this figure. Yeah. And then he sees it go into the woods, so he didn't think, I'm not gonna follow it into this dark, weird woods. I don't know if there's fucking bears in Romania, which there are, but...
Your point, I think, whenever the characters just react to things and none of them are actually intending anything, then that means that the characters themselves aren't really invested in what is going on.
It's all over the place. You don't know what's going on in the scene, you're just stuck in the world.
Yeah, you can see what's happening, but you don't know why.
Yeah, you never know why.
Okay, Danny?
So my title was French Canadian Gets Blue Balls. Just like the audience. After watching the original Conjuring movies that really kind of mastered the balance between jump scare and creepiness, this movie had some pretty strong jump scare game, but the creepy factor was virtually zero, which was really honestly pretty disappointing considering how awesome of a character the nun had the potential to be. And then there was this weird thing where Frenchie is clearly like into the main nun, Sister Irene. They've got like the Han Solo Leia sort of like back and forth going on. I was really confused whenever in the end she actually took her vows.
It felt like anything that they actually were building up to, they didn't build up to at the end. Like they didn't give you the conclusion that they were leading you wanted to believe was gonna happen. Not in an unexpected way, but in a they dropped the ball way. They had all these characters here, and they said the nun is big and bad, but the nun literally didn't do anything.
Completely incompetent and
Didn't
horrible.
The main nun is played by the sister of the actress who plays the main character in The Conjuring, which makes it seem like she is going to have some sort of direct relation.
Yeah,
but
Because they look the same.
because we're being blueballed the whole movie, that comes to nothing.
I mean, it makes me wonder, did they just...
Stuff that smells like reshoots.
Yeah.
All of our grievances have been expressed through our titles, but before we get into just destroying this thing, just obliterating it to dust,
We better
should
stop
probably
the
say what we
bombs.
like about it.
Okay.
It was fun to watch. We were having a good time, all of us, when we watched it together. We were laughing out loud, and on many occasions. There are ear rape memes in the movie. The nun's like floating out of the water, and it's going, "Bah! Bah!" Nothing was happening, but it was like really intense music. It was hilarious. Basically, all of my compliments to the movie come from somewhere that I don't even know the movie was going for. I would watch this again on Halloween while I'm eating candy. Just sipping on my beer and watching The Nun. It'd be a great time.
I really liked how it was just a clear-cut entertainment movie. There was nothing deep to digest about it. Sometimes you just want a fucking movie that doesn't have a message to be thrown at you.
They didn't try it.
Yeah, no messages. You're here for a good time.
That is good.
Not for a long time. Since it was over the top, you didn't take it so seriously that you were mad when it dropped the ball. It was like, oh yeah, this is a good horror com.
I actually, by the end of the movie, thought that the characters were at least likable. They weren't good characters. They weren't fleshed out characters.
Yeah.
But I liked them. That the actors playing these characters were so devoted to it by the end. Like, they were still playing it straight by the end. I gotta give them props for making me like them.
But the actors themselves brought some energy to
they
it.
had a sort of charisma about them. Did we leave anything for you, Danny?
Well, I guess just in general, I thought it was a good, classic feeling horror.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It looked like if someone took like a Scooby-Doo episode or Scooby-Doo monster.
That's what I thought they were gonna unmask the nun and be like, "Oh my God, it's the Pope!"
And
Oh
so-
my gosh.
Yeah, it was just
Pope Francis.
It was just fun. It was a very fun movie. I highly enjoyed it, even though it wasn't what I expected at all.
We said everything that we liked. Now it's gloves off. Whoever wants to
The
start
exposition.
first. The exposition.
The
All right.
exposition is god awful, and it's all the dialogue is.
Except for the one-liners.
Except for the one-liners, but those were sewn in to try to make you forget that everything before it was exposition. The worst case of the exposition than the one-liner, where all of it just failed, was at the bar. Bartender says, "You say you found a dead body in that castle?" "Yeah." "You say your friends are in that castle?" "Yeah." "How many of them are there?" "2. We're about to find 2 more dead bodies." And I was like, oh, ow.
They're really dumbing down movies.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, in general.
In
A
general.
general grievance about Hollywood. Stop making things dumb,
Let's
dude.
sip my monster.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
to.
Movies aren't like they used to be.
Another thing, the pacing, man. Everything was quick. Nothing settled. Nothing. Not once.
It's hard to get a rushed movie when there's nothing going on in
Yeah.
the movie, but somehow they
did
pull
it.
it off.
A whole lot of nothing happening real
Ladies
fast.
and gentlemen, we got him.
The camera work was pointless. For example, they put a lantern down. The camera would focus on the lantern, and then nothing would happen. They would focus on that glass when he put it down after he told the story. They panned up on it, and then nothing happened. Like in The Conjuring, they pan up on the tree in the backyard.
Yeah.
You know,
It's important.
because that is an important part of this movie. The glass being empty that he sets down, that's not important.
Without a connection between Sister Irene and Lorraine Warren, the whole movie as a prequel was unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Even
doesn't.
as a whole, the movie is pointless. Like, there's no reason for it to
Yeah,
exist.
they could have done a standalone lore movie, but because they tried to make it seem like there was a connection and like played with it, it was forced and teased.
So, no subtlety, no reasoning, and no point.
And no depth.
Close the floodgates.
Okay. All of that being said, we'll just go down the line. What do you guys think? One word only, would describe this movie.
My one word is goofy. This was a goofy movie. Zombies being shotgunned in the face, the blood of Christ being used to close a portal. All of it was goofy. It's really unique in its own way. There's not really anything as goofy as this movie out, at least in mainstream blockbuster Hollywood. So if you like goofy shit, you'll like this movie. If you don't like goofy shit, don't watch this movie.
Adam.
Okay. Well, baseless. I think they kind of like mess up trying to be a lore film, like to add to like lore to the whole series. As we stated, even though it was baseless, it was still humorous, but other than that, it seemed like it didn't have a general purpose, so I'm sticking with baseless.
Riffing off of those things, I would say my word is probably why. It's humorous. Why? It's part of the Conjuring.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be scary. She has psychic powers that leads you to think that she has a connection with Lorraine Warren from the Conjuring.
Also,
why?
Why did they bring up the Duke as this like crazy, powerful like character, and then head cut off by a crusader?
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere.
Why?
And why was he doing any of those things?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
what
why was the
drew
scene in
him?
the movie at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why?
Why any of it?
Yeah, just big old question mark. There you go, Danny. What's your word?
Classic.
Yeah,
Classic.
it's a good
Classic.
word.
So it felt just like I said, the Scooby-Doo sort of horror movie where it's really not scary, it's just very entertaining. And the monster in theory is terrifying, but not really.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to watch.
A
Yeah.
modern classic, and that's why it exists, guys.
It's not a modern classic. It's a classic movie made into a modern flick.
Yeah, don't
It's a-
mistake that for a good movie.
Yeah.
So let's see, what's one word that summarizes all those words?
Clusterfuck?
Niche.
No, niche.
Lighthearted.
Hold on.
Laughable.
Laughable.
Laughable
I like
is the
it.
word.
Laughable.
All right. So the word that summarizes all of those is laughable.
Laughable in the good sense, laughable in the bad sense, laughable in the strange sense.
That's a word on the nun.
Yeah.
Are you doing outro music? Okay.
Have you seen the movie? Are you gonna give us your take on it? You should. In the comments below, like, subscribe, and smash the bell.
Wow.
Wow, that was a very subtle plug.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching.
Wait.
What?
I heard something.
Oh my fucking god. What's he doing?
Guys, I heard something.
Okay, I think we're done.